You were discussing critical space stuff with your pals the other day.
How would you batch in space?
With immaculate care.
Yeah, it'd go airborne if you didn't contain it.
Depends on the length of the missions, I think. Like, if it's a pretty short missions, you can probably get away without mixing a batch up there.
Maybe you could get away without mixing a batch. I'm mixing one every night or I'm not sleeping.
Kind of like how I needs to take a shower immediately after I takes a shits.
You'd cone it. What?
Each spaceman's given a cone, put over your junk for when you batch in space.
You?
So let's say you're in your space quarters. You'd lay on your back in your bunk, put the cone over your junk, and fire one up. And since it's zero gravity, your batch would float up to the top of the cone and remain there.
Then what do you do with it?
Each cadet's got a space disposal in their quarters, so we just throw it in there.
Not what they do.
Most important thing is to obstruct the space cam in your quarters so that the rest of the space cadets don't see you batching.
I'd imagine they'd give you a few cones. Probably just stick one of those cones over the camera.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
How did you acquire this knowledge?
You remember when I took Angie down Disney?
Yeah.
I was having drinks at a bar by Cape Canaveral and heard some cadets talking.
Space cadets?
Fuck, pissed me off, Derry.
Isn't Cape Canaveral's a ways away from Disney?
It's not that far.
Okay. So you're having a drinks in Cape Canaverals and you overhear some cadets talking about mixing a batch up in space?
Did I stutter?
Crazier things have happened, I guess. Was Bondar's there?
Roberta?
Yeah. Roberta's Bondar's. Neuroscientist. Canada's first female astronauts. Fucking legend. Roberta's Bondar's.
Yeah, Bondar was there.
Nice.
What about the other guy? What's his name?
He just left, apparently.
Wow. Rubbing shoulders with North America's finest space cadets.
Yeah.
Bondar hammered?
No. No, I seen her crush a few old fashions, but she's actually sitting in a quiet corner by herself.
Wonder why the other guys left.
I don't have that information, Dan.
Can you imagine if North America's finest space cadets went up into outer space together?
Oh, they did.
They did.
Yep. Houston wanted them to go up there together again, too. Bondar didn't want to.
Why not?
I don't think you want to know.
Well, sure as we do.
Look, you didn't hear this from me, all right?
All right.
Derry, all right?
All right.
Look, a lot of people don't know this, but those two weren't just North America's finest spacemen. They were actually planet Earth's finest space people. So, of course, Houston wanted them up there together as much as possible.
But they only went out there together the one time.
Yeah?
Because Bondar's didn't want to go up there with them again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, look, he was known as a bit of a guy's guy around Kennedy Center. You know, he played pranks and stuff, and they just say, well, that's just him.
Of course, Bondar was the more senior spaceman, had a bit of a reputation for, like, kicking it old school.
Hence the old fashions.
So she didn't have a lot of time for the whole boys be boys mentality.
Okay.
So they finally shoehorned them up there together, knowing full well as oil and water. And I guess you could say he proved them right.
Those space cadets really tell tales out of school, eh?
Yep.
What happened next?
So, each spaceman's got a space cam in their quarters, which are connected to the other spaceman's quarters, as well as the main shuttle bay and the saucer section, the two smaller bays in the star drive section.
That be connected to the main bridge?
Of course they are, Derry. Fuck's sake.
So we're talking about an elite vessel here.
NASA'd never send a ship up there if it wasn't Galaxy class.
Well, you bet they wouldn't.
Same with Elon Musk, but apparently Russia does it all the time.
Fucking joke, Starfleet.
So what happened next?
So Bondar would be up in Alpha Quadrant, keeping the captain's log likely at the events.
Yeah.
And they'd all just come out of a Yeager loop, so she was a bit worn out.
Yeah, she wouldn't be at full bars.
But of course, there's Bondar still up there in Alpha, keeping an eye out for wormholes and whatnot.
Yeah.
I guess there he'd be down there in Beta Quadrant, floating around in space quarters, which Bondar could see, so could Houston. I guess what he'd do is float off camera, pull his space pants down, grab his junk in a bunch in his hands.
Big Dinkerball?
Sake, Derry.
This is hard enough to get through without you stepping all over a story, Derry.
Sorry, good buddy.
So there he'd be, floating off camera. I guess what he'd do,
Allegedly.
according to the cadets, is dip just his junk back into frame.
No.
Apparently did it all the time.
Where's Houston in all this?
Houston thought it was hilarious.
But Bondar didn't?
Nope. Bondar did not.
Jesus Christ.
So I guess then what he'd do is he'd get on his comms,
Allegedly.
just telling you what the cadets told me. He'd go, like, Hey, Bondar. Check out Space Cam 6.
No.
Yep.
She report him?
Oh, she reported it.
Did they slap sanctions on them?
Yep. Yeah, he got jacked up.
Good for Houston's.
And of course, they were still supposed to be up there another 2 months together, and things only got worse.
Oh.
Remember what I was saying about the cone?
Yeah.
Guess whenever it was Bondar's turn to clean Beta Quadrant, he would routinely batch and not cone it.
Inexcusable.
Well, I think Bondar would tell you that's an understatement.
I think she would too.
That she never expected to be floating around some spaceman's quarters trying to catch airborne ejaculate in a plastic vacuum bag when she signed up for space camp.
No, they only tell you about omega particles at space camp.
This went on for 2 more months.
Oh, no way, Dan.
Oh, you better believe Houston aborted the mission. Bondar had strict orders to Picard maneuver and warp 10 home.
How many light years away were they?
I was going to ask, but then the cadets know I was eavesdropping, so.
Well, then what happened?
So they bring Bondar in for a top secret meeting, airtight boardroom, pat down spawn entry, no cell phones inside, and they said, well, what do you want to do here, Bondar?
Well, let them have it.
No,
No?
no, you remember how I said she's old school?
Yeah.
Bondar says to him, she says, I'm going to be down at the bar drinking old fashions. That guy's going to get what's coming to him. Fucking buzzed herself out of the boardroom.
And did she?
Well then, one of them's up in space doing space activities. The other one's at a bar by Disney drinking old fashions.
That woman is the portrait of class.
She always has been.
God bless his Roberta's Bondars.
Now, you can't be especially sure those were even real space cadets at the bar by Kennedy that day on account of being so close to Disney. Could have just been playing pretend or cosplaying, like so many in that area like to do. But if they weren't over there spinning a yarn, fucking Bondar for Prime Minister, right?